For motorhomes equipped with slide-out rooms, to extend a slide-out room, first make sure the motorhome is level. Then physically go outside and check for obstructions. Make sure the slide-out room has at least 3 feet of clearance beside the motorhome. Look for tree limbs, picnic benches, other vehicles, electrical boxes, etc. that could contact the slide-out room. Physically checking will help prevent damage to both the exterior of the slide-out room and to the drive mechanism of the slide-out room. Keep in mind that insurance and collision damage waiver does not cover damage to the slide-out room. Because of highway width restrictions, damaging the mechanism may put a dent in your vacation. Once you have determined you have sufficient clearance to extend the slide-out room, set the parking brake. Ensure all persons are clear of the slide-out room and its moving parts. Do not allow anyone to occupy a room when it's being extended or retracted. The key must be inserted into the lock located on the room slide-out control panel and rotated clockwise before extending or retracting the slide-out room. Next, press and hold the button labeled Out on the slide-out panel. Continue pressing the button until the slide-out room comes to a complete stop. When fully extended, the unit will shut itself off. The weather seals on the slide-out room are designed to work only in the fully extended or retracted position. Never move the vehicle with the slide-out room partially or fully extended. To retract a slide-out room, first, check to see that the exterior and interior obstructions are moved. All persons are clear of the slide-out room and the floor is clean. If the floor is not clean, damage to the vinyl flooring will result. With a bedroom slide-out, do not leave the blanket between the end of the bed and the cabinets. This will prevent damage to the slide room mechanism and cabinetry. Press and hold the In button on the slide-out control panel. The slide-out will stop by itself when it is fully retracted. Physically check outside the motorhome to ensure the slide-out room is fully retracted before driving away. This is where you fill your fresh water supply. Use only the white water hose that is located inside the vehicle. Just unlock the door, insert the hose, and turn on the water. This is the city water connection. If you stay in an RV park that has water at each individual campsite, you can connect the motorhome's water supply directly to the RV park's water supply. To do this, use the white water hose. First, connect the hose to the RV park's faucet. Then, turn on the water enough to fill the hose with fresh water. Then, turn off the water. Then, connect the hose to the city water connection. Filling the hose with water prevents a hose full of air being injected into the motorhome. Turn on the RV park faucet to pressurize the onboard plumbing. This procedure does not fill the storage tank, so before you drive away, don't forget to fill the fresh water as previously explained. This is the propane access door. The valve on the propane tank is currently open. To allow for expansion in the tank, when full, the gauge will read approximately 80%. The appliances that operate on propane are the furnace, hot water heater, stove, and refrigerator. There is a monitor panel that shows how much propane remains in the tank. Your motorhome can easily weigh 3 to 6 times more than a car. Plan for slow acceleration when you're entering into a freeway or passing another vehicle. Because of slow acceleration, you should not plan on passing another vehicle on a single-lane highway. Once the motorhome gets moving, it has tremendous forward momentum and inertia. This requires enormous amounts of energy to be dissipated by the braking system. To brake safely, follow these suggestions. Allow 4 to 5 times more stopping distance than you would for your car. Increase the following distance between you and the car in front of you by at least 4 to 5 times more than you would while driving your car, and always brake early. When braking the motorhome, the braking system causes a tremendous amount of heat. When ascending a long hill, to assist in controlling your speed, turn on the tow haul feature or select a lower gear on the transmission. Use this procedure in combination with occasional braking to prevent overheating the brakes. Make sure to slow the motorhome before selecting a lower gear so it does not result in excessive RPMs on the engine. When driving on icy or slippery conditions, do not use the tow haul feature as it may result in loss of control of the vehicle. When driving on extended downhill grades, consider pulling over to allow the brakes to cool. Make sure you pull over in a safe location. Continuous use of the brakes will result in the brakes overheating and may lead to brake failure. One of our primary goals at Great Alaskan Holidays is to provide you with a quality rental. Part of a quality rental is a motorhome with no body damage or broken windshield. The vehicle is covered by insurance with 2 deductibles, one for collision damage and one for comprehensive damage. Because most of our customers' driving experience is behind the wheel of an automobile, not a motorhome, on average, every day, one of our vehicles is involved in an accident or collision, and unfortunately, due to the road conditions in Alaska, another motorhome receives a broken windshield. If the vehicle is damaged either by you or someone unknown to you and you report it immediately, your purchase of collision damage waiver will substantially reduce your liability. As well, if you purchase collision damage waiver and, for example, return with a broken windshield caused by a passing vehicle, there will be no additional charge to you. To lower the limits on your liability, ask your customer service representative about collision damage waiver when completing your rental agreement. There are 4 types of damage that are not covered by insurance or collision damage waiver because they're considered preventable. These include damage to the overhead, the undercarriage, the slide-out rooms, and the motorhome's interior. This is the gasoline fill. The motorhome uses regular unleaded gasoline. When filling the vehicle with gasoline or water, you are responsible to ensure that only water gets put in the water tank and gasoline in the gasoline tank. Each vehicle goes through a rigorous 41-point maintenance inspection before every rental. We ask that you check the oil every time you stop for gas. The hood release is by the driver's left foot. The safety release is located in the grille. The hood prop is located on the front under the hood. If you do need to add oil during the rental, we have included a quart in the motorhome. However, please do not add oil when you fill up with gasoline before you return the motorhome in Anchorage. We will take care of that for you. If you do not choose the prepaid gasoline and propane option, when you return the motorhome, to be fair to the next customer, we ask that you fill the motorhome up with gasoline and propane within 5 miles of Great Alaskan Holidays. Please retain your receipts indicating where and when the tanks were filled. Inside the motorhome is a propane leak detector. When the propane leak detector is operating properly, the green light will be on. The monitor sniffs the air for hydrocarbons, and if it detects them, sets off an alarm. Many aerosols like PAM cooking spray, deodorants, and insect repellents are propelled with butane or propane. Using these aerosols in the motorhome may cause the alarm to go off. Additionally, the exhaust from your vehicle or another vehicle may cause the detector to alarm. If the detector does sound an alarm, do not touch any electrical switches. Immediately turn off the main LP tank valve and all LP appliances. Open all windows and roof vents. Then leave the motorhome until the alarm stops sounding. Next, follow the instruction in the Winnebago Operator's Manual and then in the Great Alaskan Holidays General Operating Instructions. There are two other warning devices in the motorhome. The first is a carbon monoxide detector. This device is extremely sensitive. If it does alarm, please read the section entitled Carbon Monoxide Alarm in the General Operating Instructions before you panic. The vehicle is also equipped with a smoke detector in case of fire or burned bacon. A dry chemical fire extinguisher is located near the floor by the side entrance door. We recommend you become thoroughly familiar with operating instructions displayed on the side of the fire extinguisher or in the manufacturer's owner's manual. When preparing to leave a parking lot or a campsite, take a moment to walk around the vehicle. Check to see if the electrical and water lines are disconnected and properly stored. All compartments are closed and locked, and the slide-out rooms are completely retracted. Look for obstacles you need to avoid, such as tree limbs, picnic benches, parked cars, trees, and stumps when backing out of an area. This will assist you greatly in avoiding accidents. Before you drive away, check to see that the driver's seat, steering wheel, and mirrors are properly adjusted. In just a few moments, it will be too late to adjust the mirrors while you're trying to merge into traffic. Make the adjustments so the inside edge of the mirror reflects the side of the motorhome. This gives you a reference point to judge the position of other vehicles and objects around you. Your side mirrors are the only way to see what is next to you in order to make lane changes or turns. When backing the motorhome, make sure you have an outside spotter you can see using the side mirrors. Keep in mind the mirrors cannot see anything directly behind the motorhome. This is where a spotter should stand to be seen on the left. And this is where a spotter should stand to be seen on the right. The driver cannot see the spotter if they're standing behind the motorhome. Work out hand signals in advance and instruct the spotter to remain in view. Never attempt to back up a motorhome without a spotter. If you're alone and must back up the motorhome, get out of the vehicle and physically walk over the path you plan to back up on. Then back up slowly. To set the parking brake, push the pedal down with your left foot. To release, pull this handle to trigger the release and allow the pedal to return to its original position. The vehicle is equipped with a transmission brake pedal interlock. This requires the driver to depress the brake in order to shift the vehicle from park. The refrigerator in the motorhome operates on propane. We have already turned the refrigerator on to begin the cooling process. Always park the vehicle on a level location when the refrigerator is operating. Operating the refrigerator off of level for longer than a half hour may result in a vapor lock that can permanently damage the refrigerator. Use the level mounted on the countertop. If 1/2 of a bubble is inside the circle in any direction, the motorhome is level enough for continuous operation of the refrigerator. The refrigerator is manufactured with a plastic liner that absorbs odors. Do not put fish or seafood in the freezer or refrigerator, as we will not be able to remove the odor. If you are buying fish or going fishing, we do provide a cooler at no charge. After driving the motorhome, open the refrigerator and cabinet door very slowly because items may have shifted during driving. The height of the motorhome is also a factor. You need 12 feet or 4 meters of overhead clearance to drive under an obstacle. Keep in mind that trees do not have clearance signs. Trees have tree branches and are the #1 cause of damage to the roof and to the overhead. If you are not sure the motorhome can clear an obstacle, do not try it. Additionally, motorhomes are considered high-profile vehicles. Take precautions when wind advisories are issued. The key tag for the motorhome has a 4-digit number on it. The number corresponds to small numbers located on the front and rear of the motorhome. The large Ford key opens the 2 front doors and operates the ignition. 2 medium-sized keys operate the locks on the coach door. The other medium-sized key with the additional hole drilled through the head opens the water fill door and the outside compartments of the vehicle. You will receive 1 set of keys. We recommend the person doing most of the driving keeps the Ford key on their key ring and a second person in the party keeps the other keys. This will virtually eliminate the possibility of locking yourself out of the vehicle when 2 people have keys. For motorhomes equipped with slide-out rooms, to extend a slide-out room, first make sure the motorhome is level. Then, physically go outside and check for obstructions. Make sure the slide-out room has at least 3 feet of clearance beside the motorhome. Look for tree limbs, picnic benches, other vehicles, electrical boxes, etc. that could contact the slide-out room. Physically checking will help prevent damage to both the exterior of the slide-out room and to the drive mechanism of the slide-out room. Keep in mind that insurance and collision damage waiver does not cover damage to the slide-out room. Because of highway width restrictions, damaging the mechanism may put a dent in your vacation. Once you have determined you have sufficient clearance to extend the slide-out room, set the parking brake. Ensure all persons are clear of the slide-out room and its moving parts. Do not allow anyone to occupy a room when it's being extended or retracted. The key must be inserted into the lock located on the room slide-out control panel and rotated clockwise before extending or retracting the slide-out room. Next, press and hold the button labeled "Out" on the slide-out panel. Continue pressing the button until the slide-out room comes to a complete stop. When fully extended, the unit will shut itself off. The weather seals on the slide-out room are designed to work only in the fully extended or retracted position. Never move the vehicle with the slide-out room partially or fully extended. To retract a slide-out room, first, check to see that the exterior and interior obstructions are moved. All persons are clear of the slide-out room and the floor is clean. If the floor is not clean, damage to the vinyl flooring will result. With a bedroom slide-out, do not leave the blanket between the end of the bed and the cabinets. This will prevent damage to the slide room mechanism and cabinetry. Press and hold the "In" button on the slide-out control panel. The slide-out will stop by itself when it is fully retracted. Physically check outside the motorhome to ensure the slide-out room is fully retracted before driving away. To light the stovetop, turn on the exhaust fan and open a window for ventilation. Locate the control knob on the front of the cooktop that corresponds to the burner that you wish to light. Strike a match and hold it next to the selected burner. Push in and turn the burner control knob counterclockwise to the light position. In 1 or 2 seconds, the burner will light. Some cooktops are equipped with a piezo igniter. To light a stovetop with a piezo igniter, first push in and turn the burner control knob counterclockwise to the light position. Then immediately rotate the piezo igniter knob clockwise several clicks until the burner lights. For complete instructions, see the general operating instructions and the manufacturer's instruction manual. To turn off the burner, just turn the burner control knob to off. The stove is also equipped with a propane oven. The pilot light for the oven must be lit before the oven can be used. To light the pilot light, strike a match and hold it near the pilot gas outlet. Push the oven control knob in and counterclockwise to the position marked pilot. Continue to hold in the knob for several seconds until the pilot light ignites. After the pilot is lit, select the temperature that you need in the oven. When you're done using the oven, push in and turn the knob clockwise to extinguish the pilot light. The thermostat controls the furnace and rooftop air conditioner. For instructions on proper use of the thermostat, please read the section entitled Thermostat Operation in the General Operating Instructions. The vehicle has dual rear tires. The challenge with dual rear tires is if one tire goes flat and you continue to drive, in a very short time the remaining good tire will quickly overheat and result in destruction of both tires. We recommend when you stop, check all the tires. This is done by tapping on the tires with your fist. They should all sound about the same. Tires on your motorhome, including the spare, have been checked by our rental staff during the rental inspection. If you need to add air to a tire, see the general operating instructions for proper tire pressure. Unlike your car, most trucks or even semi-tractor trailers, the rear of the motorhome extends several feet beyond the rear wheels. This 6 to 15-foot rear overhang dramatically affects 3 basic maneuvers: turning a corner, turning in tight spots, and leaving a driveway. Whenever you make a turn, be sure the rear wheels have passed any obstacles before you start to turn the steering wheel. What fools most motorhome drivers is they think about turning the motorhome the same way they think about driving their cars. Because your car has a relatively short wheelbase and rear overhang, normally the rear of the vehicle makes it around an obstacle. This is a motorhome making a proper turn. This is how it looks from the side. Notice how the rear wheels are past the obstacle before the turn starts. This is how it looks from the top. This is a motorhome cutting a turn short. This is also called off-tracking. This is how it looks from the side. Notice the front of the motorhome makes the turn fine, but because the turn was started before the rear wheels of the vehicle passed the obstacle, the back of the motorhome is going to run into the obstacle or run over the curb. This is how it looks from the top. Making a sharp turn in a motorhome creates another challenge. It's called swing out or tail swing. Because several feet of the motorhome extend beyond the rear tires, when you make a turn, it causes the rear of the vehicle to swing out. The sharper the turn, the further the rear end swings out. This is a motorhome making a sharp turn. See how the rear end knocks over the obstacle? Try to avoid sharp turn. If you need to make a sharp turn, do it slowly. Look in the mirror opposite the direction of your turn for tail swing, and look in the mirror in the direction of your turn for off-tracking. If you're turning to the left, it's the back right corner hitting the car, and the area behind the driver's door hitting the post. Whenever you leave a driveway, follow this rule. Always have the rear wheels exit slowly and always at an angle. Again, what most people forget is the extra 6 to 15 feet that extend beyond the rear wheels. That overhang will easily bottom out even when leaving only a slightly inclined driveway. This is what happens when a motorhome leaves a driveway using the wrong method. From the rear, you can see the motorhome bottom out. If the driver had been going faster or the driveway had been steeper, the underside of the motorhome could easily be damaged, destroying the entry step, plumbing, or the exhaust system. From the side, you can see why the motorhome bottoms out. The rear wheels hit simultaneously at the lowest point, and the rear end hits the driveway. Let's look at the proper way to leave a driveway. By turning the motorhome so the back tires leave the driveway at an angle, the rear end does not bottom out. The rule to remember is to leave a driveway slowly and always at an angle.